He had always kept his life quiet. Not because he didn't have anything to share, but because some stories, especially the real ones, felt too precious to be put out there for just anyone to judge or misunderstand. And this story, this part of his life, it was the most personal thing he had ever held close. It wasn't about hiding or being secretive, it was about protecting something that mattered more than anything else. Because she wasn't just some girl he liked. She wasn't just someone he was casually talking to. She was the reason behind the softness in his voice, the warmth in his words, the calm in his silence. Every time someone asked him, "Who's the girl you're always smiling about?" he would smile even wider, laugh gently and say, "You'll know when the time is right." And until now, that time hadn't come. He never showed her face in pictures, never tagged her in stories, never said her name in his posts. But if you were paying attention, you'd see her in everything. In the background of his captions, in the soft music he chose, in the peaceful tone of his late-night voice notes, in the quiet way he said he was okay even when he wasn't. She was there. Always. A silent presence, like a melody that keeps playing softly in the background. She was never loud, never public, but she was the reason behind everything that mattered to him. She was the one who stayed up with him on nights when his chest felt too heavy to breathe. The one who listened, without trying to fix anything. The one who held space for his pain without judgment. The one who reminded him every single day that home doesn't have to be a place. It can be a person. And for him, she was that person. Today, everything is different. Today, he sat in front of a camera, heart beating out of rhythm, hands slightly shaking. Not from fear, but from the weight of what he was about to do. Because this video wasn't just a project. It wasn't about content. It wasn't about going viral or making numbers grow. This one was personal. He looked into the camera with quiet courage and said, "This video, this one's different. It's not for clicks or likes. It's for her." And that's where everything started to change. He had talked about her so many times before. Never clearly, never directly, but always honestly. She was the soul behind his words, the peace in his silence. He had kept her hidden for so long, not because he was ashamed, but because he was scared. Scared of the noise, scared of the criticism, scared that the internet would do what it does best, pick things apart, misunderstand, twist, and reduce something sacred into something shallow. And she wasn't shallow. She wasn't small. She was everything. She was light in human form, and he didn't want that light dimmed by harsh comments or unkind strangers. But he realized something over time. Hiding her didn't protect her anymore. It just kept his truth hidden, and he was done hiding. He paused, looked into the lens, and whispered, "If you've been wondering who she is, this is for you." And then the screen changed. No dramatic reveal. No glamorous photo shoot. Just a simple, quiet video. She was sitting on the floor laughing while eating noodles straight from the pan. Her hair was messy. She wore an old hoodie, and she had no idea she was being recorded. But the way she smiled, it lit up the whole room. That small clip said more than any grand introduction ever could. And as his voice came back in, it carried a softness you could feel through the screen. "This is her," he said. "This is the girl I've been talking about." She wasn't famous. She wasn't chasing likes. She wasn't out there trying to impress anyone. But she had something the world rarely sees anymore. Honesty. Depth. A quiet kind of beauty that didn't ask to be noticed but stayed with you long after you looked away. And if people knew even a fraction of what she had been through, they'd understand why he loved her so much. She had been through storms that could have broken anyone. And yet, she smiled. Still kind, still soft, still full of light. And that's what made her so special. That's what made him hold on so tightly. They didn't meet in some magical, movie-like moment. It wasn't love at first sight. It wasn't even romantic at the beginning. They met on a regular day, in a regular place, under the most ordinary circumstances. He had gone to help a friend move into a new apartment. She was there too, sitting on a folded chair, hoodie on, quietly helping unpack books. She didn't say much, just smiled politely, stayed in her own world, and helped where she could. But something about her stayed with him. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She looked tired, maybe even a little guarded, but her eyes, they looked like they had stories inside them. Stories no one had asked her to tell. He didn't know why, but he found himself thinking about her after that day. Not in a romantic way at first, just curious, just a deep feeling that she deserved to be known. He asked his friend gently, "Who is she?" The reply came slowly. "She's been through a lot. Doesn't trust people much anymore. But she's real. Like real. That was enough, for him. Enough to stay curious. Enough to hope they'd meet again. And weeks later, they did. She was at a cafe, sitting alone with a notebook, scribbling thoughts quietly. He saw her from across the room. Didn't interrupt, just sat nearby, hoping maybe she'd notice. She did, smiled again, soft, polite, but somehow meaningful. He smiled back and said, "Hi." She said, "Hey," and looked down again. But she smiled. That was enough. He didn't push for her number, didn't ask to sit. He just left a note on a napkin as he walked out. "You look like you're hiding. A story too big for this world. Hope you tell it one day." That note changed everything. 2 days later, she found him online and sent a message. "You saw more in 3 seconds than most people did in years." And from there, it began. Not quickly, not like a fire, but like a slow sunrise. Gentle, steady. They didn't talk about love or dating. They talked about pain, about childhood, about quiet dreams, about the kind of loneliness that doesn't go away just because someone's around. She told him things she had never told anyone else, how she spent years trying to be less just to be loved, how people made her feel like she was too quiet, too simple, too different, and he never tried to fix her. He just listened. That's what made her stay. There was never a label, no boyfriend or girlfriend title, no relationship announcement. Just 2 people building something real in the background. But she was scared. One night she told him, "Don't tell anyone about me. I'm not ready to be seen yet. I've been hidden so long it feels safe here in the shadows." And he understood. So he respected that. He never said her name, never posted her face. But if you looked closely, you'd see her in every post about hope, every caption about peace, every soft sentence. She was there. He once told her, "You're not a secret. You're just sacred." That sentence changed everything for her, because for the first time, she didn't feel like she was being hidden because she wasn't enough. She was being protected because she was everything. One day, out of nowhere, she sent him a photo. Just a simple picture of her sitting by a window holding a cup of tea. No makeup, hair tied back. Just her, and one line with it. "Maybe they can see this one." That was her way of saying she was ready. Not for the whole world, just for his world. The people who had been wondering all along. He posted the picture with a simple caption, "The girl I've been talking about." No filters, no edits, just her. The response was mixed. Some people were kind, some were curious, and some not so nice. She called him that night, voice trembling. Maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe it was a mistake. But he held her with his words. "Let them talk. You don't owe them anything. You're not here for their approval. You're here because I want the world to know where my peace comes from." That night, she began to believe him. From that day on, something in her changed. Not loudly, not all at once, but slowly. She started walking taller, smiling a little freer. She didn't check comments anymore. She didn't care about likes or followers. She had been seen, and nothing bad happened. She was still here, still loved, still herself. And one day she asked if she could come to one of his video shoots. Not to be in the video, just to watch, just to be near him. He said yes, surprised and touched. She sat quietly behind the camera, watching him speak, watching how he lit up when he shared stories. Later, under the stars on a rooftop, she whispered, "I think I want to be part of the next one, just a little part." His heart swelled, but he stayed calm. "Even 1 second is enough," he said. So they planned it. In the next video, she walked by in the background, carrying a cup of tea. No words, just her. And that one moment, it said everything. The way he looked at her, the way she smiled. It wasn't a reveal. It was a feeling. People noticed. Comments poured in, not about her looks or who she was, but about how real it felt. And that meant more to her than anything. Love didn't have to be loud. Sometimes the quiet kind is the strongest. One night she found a folder on his phone. It was named after her. Inside were pictures she didn't even know he had taken, laughing, sleeping, looking away. All real, all unedited. She asked, "Why do you keep these?" He replied, "Because these are the pieces of you I never want to forget, the pieces the world hasn't seen yet." That word stayed with her. Yet, she realized maybe it wasn't about hiding. Maybe it was just about timing. And now, maybe it's finally time. Because this is her, the girl he couldn't stop talking about. And now, you finally see her.